is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. For the next hour, you must suspend your disbelief. Suppose an alien spacecraft had crashed in the desert, and we had recovered it. Our job is to discover how it works. With the help of leading physicists, astronomers, and engineers, we'll decipher UFO technology. Inertia cancellers, anti-gravity devices, and wormhole excavators. And during that process, we may even discover the secrets of the universe through alien engineering. You are about to participate in an imaginative exercise. Prepare yourself. This is an alien spaceship that crashed in the desert some years ago. We've been given the task of decoding the technology and working out how it runs. We've assembled a team of some of the smartest and most imaginative researchers, physicists, engineers, and astronomers as advisors. Step by step, our experts will take us on a technical tour of this ship, from its controls to its aerodynamics to its propulsion. We'll learn how it travels through space and how it maneuvers in the air. The task won't be easy, but it will be rewarding. Alien technology is centuries, millennia ahead of ours.
When speaking about flying saucers and UFOs, people are going to laugh behind your back, and there goes your career. My attitude is we have to have an open mind. Open your mind to the possibility that a civilization could exist that is 1 million years ahead of us. I say, find me a law of physics that prevents contact between civilizations that are 1 million years ahead of us.
No need to convince us. We have the proof. This ship is like a crib sheet for advanced physics. Let's start with the basics. The shape and flight characteristics of the ship. Our aliens built a saucer. Are there any aerodynamic advantages to this shape? There were plenty of other options. Examining records of UFO sightings over the last 50 years, it's obvious there's more than one design.
When you start researching UFO sightings, you quickly realize that there's many commonalities throughout the cases that kind of stay true throughout all the different reports. The number one thing is we think of UFO, we think of a flying saucer. The disc shape, usually metallic, glistens in the sunlight, and that's really probably the most prevalent. Secondly, you have the cigar-shaped UFOs. Then one of the other popular types of sightings are the lights in the sky. The glowing orbs, sometimes going very slow, sometimes seen going very fast.
A triangle, or boomerang, is another commonly reported shape. Since aliens may come from all over the galaxy, it makes sense that they would have different makes and models, just as we do with our aircraft. Each has its own purpose and handling characteristics.
When you think of a light plane, the wings generally have blunt leading edges, but the minute you get into higher speeds, then the wings have to have sharp leading edges. When you get into hypersonic speeds, there may be no wings at all. The hypersonic vehicle that NASA is testing now essentially is a flying slab.
Shape does affect the aerodynamics of objects flying in our atmosphere.
When you think about a conventional airplane, there generally the forces that act on it are lift. And that's generally done by some surface, we call it a wing. Now, acting against lift is drag. That is the mere fact of the air moving over a surface and tends to impede it. That, of course, has to be overcome by some kind of forward propulsion or thrust that counteracts drag.
Few of the reported sightings mention wings, tails, jets, or propellers. But an object lacking these essentials could still stay in the air.
You know, there's a saying, with enough propulsion you can fly a brick, and that's true.
With enough propulsion, a vehicle can even make it into space. Like our rockets, cigar-shaped UFOs would be good for drilling through our thick atmosphere. When looking at reported UFO shapes, the boomerang or triangle is one of the best, aerodynamically speaking. We even have our own boomerang-shaped aircraft, such as the B-2 stealth bomber. It's known as a flying wing design.
The flying wing is a beautiful shape, at least for subsonic flight, because it's all wing and it's all efficient. The minute you start putting engines hanging out, the minute you put a fuselage, the minute you put a tail, a rudder, and elevators, you're adding drag. Flying wing doesn't have that.
The boomerang-shaped flying wing dates back to the early half of the 20th century. Northrop Aircraft Company developed a long-range bomber of this shape as early as the Second World War. Coincidentally, the sighting that started the UFO phenomenon reported boomerang-shaped objects. On the 24th of June 1947, a civilian pilot named Kenneth Arnold was flying a single-engine Cessna over the mountains of Washington state when a flash caught his attention. He claimed to see several metallic objects flying in a loose V formation and moving at terrific speed. Interviewed by both the news media and the FBI, Arnold ushered in the modern era of the unidentified flying object when he described his objects flying like saucers skipping across the water. But he didn't say that they looked like saucers.
Arnold later made some sort of a sketch for someone to describe the shape, and it turned out it wasn't exactly a saucer, but the term is stuck.
Comparing Arnold's sketch with a stealth aircraft from the US Air Force reveals some similarities. Maybe those aliens who build triangular spaceships are also concerned about drag when flying in our Earth's atmosphere. Of course, in the vacuum of space, drag is not an issue. Looking at other commonly reported shapes of UFOs, we surmise that our aliens don't seem to care about drag in our atmosphere. If they did, they wouldn't build flying saucers. Saucers aren't that stable or easy to control, at least for us humans.
It doesn't have any particular control surfaces like the fins or the flaps on a conventional airplane for changing direction, either climbing or turning. So it's really hard to see why this would be a particularly advantageous shape for flying inside any kind of atmosphere.
People have dabbled making flying saucers, and in fact, they've shown that it can be done. Generally, they're saucer-shaped. They have a big fan in the center, and they take off and they fly, and it's a good show. But it's a lousy airplane. It's a very inefficient lifting surface. And they're getting most of their lift from the fan that is blowing air down, more like a helicopter. If you were grading for efficiency, it would be at the bottom of the scale as far as a lifting device is concerned.
So why would aliens build such an aerodynamically inefficient vehicle? The truth is, they could build a ship of any shape and it would still fly, thanks to its super strong propulsion system.
And it seems to me that when you think about what's been reported, their propulsion system